Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sledgehammers in the Office podcast, where we celebrate the heavy hitters on the job site and in the office. Today, I'm joined, as usual, by Mason Oxendale. How are we doing?
Good, how are you?
Doing all right. And then, Alex von Reich.
You forget my name for a second?
No, why?
You just paused.
I don't know. I thought that was the smoothest I've done it in a while. Alex von Reich from Control Analytics. So,
Hey, howdy.
boys, it's been a month.
It's been a month.
We had no guest on the podcast this last month
Why not?
because I'm working on that. So, what's been going on with you guys?
Oh, a whole lot. So much. So many things. Oh, life has changed completely.
All right. Mason, you want to go first? Because Alex obviously is not participating well.
It's been good.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's so much better.
it is. Continue.
No. Summer has began, kids are out of school,
Nice.
so that's always fun and not fun. Yeah.
Yeah, what do? Do you just sit at home, like, going nuts?
No. Actually, I've been doing it more now.
I was going to say, hopefully not. It's
Yeah.
supposed to be working.
Yeah, because the wifey, she's the administration now, so she works year round. She used to have so we're still trying to figure out what to do with them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Can't just throw them in the backyard for 8 hours and 120 degrees?
no, our
It's not
backyard's
that
not
hot
done yet, yeah. I mean, luckily my dad lives at the house, so, like,
That's fair.
I can leave for times. Plus, it's way more chill in the summertime. Like they only work 4 days a week,
Okay.
and it's like there's really not too much to do
Mm-hmm.
until the teachers are about to come back. So
Gotcha.
yeah, so it's very flexible. But yeah, I always go to the office. I have to.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get work done at the house. Plus, I don't have an office at the house.
That's fair.
And the only other exciting thing would be that my youngest son lost his first tooth.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Yes, he lost his first tooth, like the day before he turned 7.
Heck yeah.
Which is weird because our oldest son like lost all his teeth. Like he had like all his adult teeth when he was 7. So this is very weird.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of that, sorry, are you done with all your stuff?
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
I'm
That's
sorry.
an awkward way
I
to
just
do
want
it,
to.
too.
I just want to make sure.
Are you done? Because I got some shit. This
This is my turn.
This
What?
better be badass.
No, because my son is getting his first teeth,
Oh, nice.
and that
Are
just
you done with what you're talking
no,
about?
shut up.
Is it the
The first bottom two.
Oh yeah, those
Yeah,
are
bottom two are
hilarious.
coming, just
are
looking like a
hilarious.
reverse beaver or something. Well, not a reverse beaver,
exactly.
but a normal beaver.
Have you caught your finger in there?
Yeah.
It hurts.
Yeah, no, he bites. He gnawed on my knee. I was like, ow, that actually
You don't
hurts like a lot
notice it
more than
until
it
they
looked.
get their first tooth.
Yeah, I'm just glad I never had guys don't ever do the breastfeeding because I do not want to have my boobs chewed like that. Like he's pinched my nipples a couple times, like very hard, like to the point I was like, damn, okay. But yeah, no. So there's that, and then we went to Wisconsin for a week, so got to have like really nice weather. Got to see the color green. We don't really see that much
You
in
went
Phoenix. Wisconsin.
Okay, I thought you said you went to a concert.
Yeah, went to a concert.
For a
no.
full week? What
Yeah,
kind of rave was this, dude?
It's actually just a lot of Beatles remasters.
Yeah.
The old people go hard.
Why
No,
Wisconsin?
that's where my in-laws live.
Okay.
And then we went to Six Flags and we hit every single coaster. It was awesome.
Did you?
I have not been on a coaster in like 5 years. I missed it so much. It was,
Really?
it was such a blast.
Got some scary emails we're not going to talk about.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I was like, what are you talking about? Yeah, I thought I was. Good.
I was looking at what we had on our notes for the recap, and I was like, that was this month? I can't believe, I thought we're still in May earlier today.
Yeah.
And then some of the stuff that's on here, I'm like, that seems like months ago. At this
It
point.
does seem like months ago. While I was in Wisconsin, thought I was going to get fired, so that was fun.
We're going to leave it right there. We're
Yep.
going to keep moving.
Did you jerk off the wrong person again?
No,
Okay.
not this time.
You're going to get another email.
It's HR.
Is it because you're South African?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Right.
What else can I say?
Let's stop before we go any farther. There's got a little funny story. My grandparents still live in the house that they bought back in 69.
Jeez.
1969 for all you perverts. And it was built with cast iron plumbing, and usually those can start to corrode or just rust and have problems. They have 2 sinks that all of a sudden just started backing up. So they called a plumber out there with that was through their insurance or whatever. Lines completely clogged. There was a crack in one of the pipes. So they had to cut open the wall in the bathroom, rip a whole 4-foot section out, and then go below the concrete to get this this fitting out. So they're like, all right, we're going to have to jackhammer it. The good news was everything was covered by their home warranty thing. But what was not covered was putting everything back in or any of the repairs. So they had a 12-inch by 12-inch square that they had jackhammered out to get to this fitting. And they told them, hey, everything so far has been covered by the home warranty. If you want us to fix that, the concrete alone will be $1,500. That is less than $10 worth of material.
Yeah.
And less than 30 minutes of work.
Did you say you could do it for $13,000?
$1,300? No. I got on the phone with the plumbers and the company when they were going through all of that, and I said, hey, I'm a licensed general contractor. If you affect anything with the structure, I'll take care of it. Anything not covered by insurance, I'll take care of it. So yeah, we ended up I took care of the back half of it, but I was just like, you guys are out of your flipping minds trying to charge $1,500 for this much concrete.
Yeah.
It's not going to be seen. You literally need to just mix it in a bucket, pour it in a hole, and that's it.
Yeah,
they probably think they could just take advantage.
Yeah, I'm not the insurance company that you're trying to get as much money as possible. Like,
Yeah.
Because there's no way any other job they would charge that.
No. Yeah. So
Now, I have a question for you. You can tell me no, I don't want to answer it right now because it's too long. Well, all the newer houses, they're built with the tension slabs. Mm-hmm. You're not supposed to drill into them.
Yes.
So if you have to do something like that, how the hell do you do that?
You have to x-ray the concrete.
And find the areas that are no tension?
Yeah, so the way that you do it is the biggest thing, what he's referring to, a post-tension slab, there's 2 ways that you would pour concrete. There's your typical, you're going to set rebar in there, you're going to pour a slab, it's going to harden around the rebar, and the rebar helps with the flexibility to help prevent cracking. And then obviously the concrete's just like a stone, super strong. The other way, which started in the 1950s, so this is also nerd thing, that if someone has a house and it's built more in the 50s, 60s, most likely it's not a post-tension slab. Post-tension slabs have become more popular, I'd say kind of 90s and newer for the most part. What they do is they run cables, similar to the rebar, through where they're going to pour their concrete. Something's clicking. And then after they poured it, they're going to put those cables under tension. If you saw cut into the concrete and you cut one of those cables, that has just released all the tension in there, and you now have a problem in your slab. You have to jackhammer further around it. They've got to go through this whole process of reconnecting it, repairing it, all those things. So the way, if you know it's a post-tension slab, to cut into it, drill it, do whatever, is you need to get an x-ray machine out there to figure out where those lines are running, and then you've got pockets that you can essentially jackhammer out to move stuff around.
Jeez.
So what we're seeing is the cast iron plumbing in a lot of houses is starting to rust out in a lot of areas, because if it's built in 30s, 40s, you've put metal underground and you've run water through it for decades.
Yeah.
So you can jackhammer it out, you can remove it, all that stuff. But if we were to fast forward 100 years and go, okay, do some of these PVC or ABS lines start backing up? Now what are we going to have to do, especially in post-tension slab homes? Because if we start jackhammering, we've got to be very cautious around any of the lines that are in there.
Jeez. Weird stuff to think about.
Yeah, but
I'm just curious because
that was a long answer.
Yeah, in the garage you always have that. It's stamped in there.
Yeah.
Post tension, do not drill,
cut or core. Yep.
So I was like, well, what if you want to move something? I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, which that's actually funny because I had a story about that later, but I got called out to this person's house. They wanted to see if I could add a shower in their downstairs bathroom, and it's just a powder bath right now, so sink and toilet. And we're going through all the measurements, stuff like that, and then I asked at the end, I was like, hey, can I go see your garage real quick? And they had that stamped on there, and I was like, oh, gosh, we're not going to be able to do this unless we're really going to spend a lot of money. And they were looking to sell their house, so I was like, it's not worth it. Don't even mess with it. We're not going to even start.
Yeah.
So.
Is that where you're going to start with jobs now? It's like, oh, we want to add this. Let me see your garage first.
Yeah. Yeah. So it could be, and it's a house that was built, I think, in the last 10 years or so. So that's where we see most of them. I was in a house and did an estimate for it that was built late 90s. Didn't have it. I'd worked in another house in that neighborhood, didn't have it. So it's one of those things where it's become more and more popular. So it's a lot of the newer houses that have it.
Gotcha.
So a lot of times you can kind of save that for last.
Interesting.
Oh, that's good stuff, boys. Anyways, we started working on the baby's room.
Yeah? How'd that go?
Pretty good. We're essentially, it's the reverse of, I guess, yeah, it's the reverse of this room. So if you're watching on video, the wall that you can't see, we're retexturing so it's just smooth, and we'll put, we're going to do some trim designs on there, stuff like that, and then just repaint the whole thing. So the trim wall is going to be all green, and then we're just repainting white on the 3 other walls. So
Nice.
Your
But-
blackout shades.
yeah, but
That was a game changer.
oh yeah, so
They're cheap too on Amazon. It's great.
yeah, but yeah, that was something the wife's been like, hey, I know you're busy, but when are you going to do this? I'm like, I'll get it taken care of, I swear. So yeah.
I could tell you've been busy. You got your front yard's kind of looking like my backyard a little bit with those weeds.
I know. I've been so
I
mad
just
looking
walk
at
out.
it.
I just laugh. I was like, oh, been there, been
Yep.
there. It's just like all of a sudden, like you get home one day and you're like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah.
Why are these so tall?
Oh,
Where
yeah.
did they come from?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I
Also,
said,
benefit
May
of no
has been-
HOA.
Yeah.
Yeah. May has been such a long but short month at the same time.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Anything else, boys?
Nope.
Oh, we did skip 2 things. Anniversary.
Oh yeah, 12-year anniversary.
Oh, congratulations.
We went to Fogo de Chão.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, somebody gave us a
Tasty.
gift card there.
Yes.
There you
Yeah, it
go.
was actually really good.
Yeah.
Right up my alley. Yeah, it's kind of cool. You get like this little card thing, and you
Mm-hmm.
flip. It's red. You ever been there?
Yeah, yeah.
Have you been there?
Yes, I have
Oh,
one.
okay, yeah. Red and green. You
Yeah.
just put it on green, and then I don't know how the people see it. It's like you green all of a sudden, like bunch
They
of
just
people
do like
come up.
laps, honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I love that. I had to put a lot of meat in my mouth.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, we went for my birthday last year, and my one of my buddies whose birthday was like 2 days. It was like just a group birthday celebration. He got food poisoning from there.
You did.
Yeah, because he ate like there's like a bar with like
Oh, yeah.
salad, and then there's like salmon and something smelled off. And I was like, I'm not touching that, and he was like, and he got super bad food poisoning.
The weird thing that me and my wife noticed, because we waited like 40 minutes. We had a reservation, still had to wait 40 minutes.
Jeez.
We went on a Saturday, so, but there were a lot of groups of dudes.
Yeah,
Is that a thing?
I mean,
For Fogo de Chao, yeah.
I mean,
Really?
think about
I
it as
think
like
so.
like someone who's just gonna eat like a tiny salad. That's not worth paying $40-50 to just get tons and tons of meat.
Well, also, how many women can you be like, hey, babe, do you want to just go eat as much steak as we can?
Right.
It's more of like the 3 of us going,
Yeah.
do you
Yeah.
want to go get
Well, I
the
mean,
meat
like, it
sweats?
wasn't like my age. It's probably closer to your guys' age, like younger. Like, why? Like, most group of dudes will go somewhere where like there might be girls. Is that not a thing anymore?
Not Fogo de Chao. If you're
Fogo
going
de Chao isn't there to
you're
pick
going
up.
throw it out.
It's like saying
I would never be like with my homies, be like, "Hey, dude, let's go to Fogo de Chao."
I've been there.
I
done it.
literally did that.
You guys are fucking bougie as hell.
Well, because it's like
Well, mine got comped by a company. So
yeah.
Bougie. Next. What's your excuse?
No, we just wanted to try it.
Bougie.
Yeah, because we're like,
Never even not even crossed our minds. We went to PF Chang's and thought we were fucking balling out. I love PF Chang's.
I haven't been there in so long.
I haven't either, but I do enjoy it.
that's fair. Nice.
We'll have to do a mobile podcast from PF Chang's.
There you go. Yeah, we're just more spring rolls, please. Anyways,
Yeah, we bring our own red and green cards.
like what are
What's
these?
this?
More.
It's bring me more food.
Yes.
The wife and I had our anniversary, and we went to Dominic's in
Why'd you have it
Scottsdale
so close to mine, bro?
because we were like, you
You
know,
don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Mine's tomorrow.
you can talk about that next podcast.
Yeah. Fuck off.
hey, so are you done with your story? Can I?
Dude, there's this Two Bears episode, and there's Adam Ray who like dresses as Dr. Phil.
Mm-hmm.
Bert Kreischer starts telling a story. He's like, "Is this story gonna get any fucking better?" Like cuts him off like in the first sentence.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I think about that every time.
Yeah.
Anyways, we went to Dominic's, and we went on
What other like I feel like we could beat up most other podcast hosts.
Really? Like who?
I said most. There's a lot of podcasts out there.
I mean, fair. I just think of like Joe Rogan. I was like, nah,
Here,
I'm pretty sure Joe Rogan.
Let's get
would
in
kick
trouble
my butt.
real quick.
No, I was thinking
All
more.
the
I
women-
was going more of like the Two Bears, One Cave.
Dude, he's big, man.
There's three of us too.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
three
that's
bears.
fair. One cave.
Yeah. We could take them. What else? We got Kill Tony. We got that's more of a show.
Yeah.
Tim Dillon
Okay, yeah.
They've
well,
got
let's
sports
pick
stuff in
podcasts
the
on
back.
our level.
on our level. Then
No name
we don't
podcast.
know
we haven't heard of them.
and for sure we could beat the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Anyways, we went to Dominic's on a Monday.
Make sure that segment's like the beginning clip.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
we'll take on any podcast ever. Bring it,
Bitch.
bitch.
Thaddeus, stop saying that.
All right. I've tried my story 3 times, so I'm done. Before we get into the business content for the podcast, we do have another ad read or unofficial ad read from our wonderful soon-to-be partners, Shamrock Farms. So, with the price of groceries on the rise, your shopping dollars become more and more valuable. This is why we recommend Shamrock Farms chocolate milk. Whether you need a drink to get you fueled in the morning or want a tasty treat at the end of the day, Shamrock Farms chocolate milk has you covered. So go to your nearest store and grab as much Shamrock Farms as you can to show your family how much you love them. And I will tell you right now, the reason why I am rocking the quart instead of the half gallon and I'm super disappointed today is because apparently you guys, the loyal listeners of the podcast, have raided the fries that's next to my house. And
go fucking somewhere else, dude.
no, like keep showing up. Let Shamrock Farms know that we're making a difference.
What's the promo code?
Promo code Mason's buying us free stuff.
We set you up every week for you just to give out your fries loyalty number.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not doing that.
Also, I feel like you're not a real fan because if you really were a Shamrock Farms fan, you'd go to another fries to get the half gallon.
There's a lot of work that was going into this podcast today before all that happened. And
Sure.
if we really want to talk about it, I did buy another half gallon. It's sitting at my parents' house right now.
Why
I
didn't you
bought
bring
it
that?
yesterday.
Well, then why didn't you bring that?
I forgot about it because my wife was pregnant and she needed to go home right away because she was tired. So I was like, okay, gotta be a good husband.
Man, I mean, chocolate milk, angry wife. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, if I would have just given her some of the chocolate milk, maybe it would have helped.
Honestly, probably.
Probably. Remember that for next time. So, any of you husbands out there, if you have a pregnant wife, she starts getting emotional. It's second trimester. Summer's coming. She's hot. She needs a cool drink to help cool her down.
Some Chucky milk.
Go to the store. Grab some Shamrock Farms chocolate milk. It'll take care of you. And your baby. All that protein, that good stuff. It might kick her bladder a couple times, but it'll be worth it. Mason,
Si, senor.
how's this month been for you in terms of business?
I've been killing the rental game. I closed like my 5th or 6th rental.
Really?
Yeah. I just had this one guy. He just always, I love it. He just always sends my number to anybody he knows. Just unfortunately, they're all renting. But honestly, I will say that I usually always do a couple a year, and they're like close friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I want to say out of the 6, 5 of them, like, I got them talking to a lender, and the problem is a lot of people say they want to buy in a year, but I actually got them. They actually talked to a lender and got on a game plan.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how good the return is next year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had a couple rental closings. So to recap the numbers, I think it was $720.
Mm-hmm.
$720 this month, baby.
Are you pulling up the sheet that is also on your computer and also on that screen right there?
Just in case.
Yeah.
Just to make sure it's all the
Because
same.
originally when I was doing this, I was like, oh, I don't need to bring my computer, but I grabbed my whole backpack this time.
He's prepared.
Plus, I'm old, dude. Like,
Can you get your monocle out?
computer screens.
paper.
The computer screens is hard to see. You start
Yeah.
squinting.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But no, yeah, 2 rental closings. I've got 4 technically in escrow, 2 new builds that are closing at the end of the year, and then 2 listings. Although one of them is supposed to close in June next week. So, well, they are. Everything's done, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then my other listing is that it needed some updating, but the market was doing good, so we tried to put it on the market and get, a good offer on it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've told this story before. We took a contingent offer. 45 days later, they fucking canceled.
Mm-hmm.
And then we missed that window, so we actually took it off the market and they're redoing some cabinets and did some flooring and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, his son has a cabinet thing.
Oh, sweet.
So he's pretty much redoing all his cabinets at cost.
Nice.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it looks like a totally brand new house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to sell quickly now. Because that's the one thing about the market right now is that I think there's over 1,300 homes every month closing, or every week closing. 1,300 homes are closing, and there's 1,300 new listings. So there's a lot of action, but I will say, I'm pretty sure I said this on the pod. I can't remember. Like I said, it's felt like
It's been a month.
3-4 months. That's how long it's felt. But buyers are just being picky.
Yeah.
Houses that need remodeling, you're getting a lot lower offers and more investor offers. And if they're fixed up, they're giving you what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it'll sell pretty quickly, I think.
What are we looking at in terms of our interest rate right now?
Yep, our interest rate is at just barely over 7%. And I did put in the parentheses, I think yesterday we were at 7.2.
Mm-hmm.
So we went up high, coming down.
Yeah. For the most part, we've just been hanging out in the sevens.
Yeah, flirting up.
Yeah.
I think we flirted a couple times at 6.99.
Yeah.
Going, I don't know. It's an election year. You can't
Yeah.
predict shit. So, but yeah, so we have over 13,000 homes available for sale, active homes right now. So we're in about a neutral market. The numbers technically would maybe slide a little bit towards the seller's market, but realistically on what buyers are doing, it's not.
Yep.
It's a neutral market.
Yep.
So not too much of the numbers changed. I mean, it's active as hell. I mean, 1,300 homes are selling, and I even take out the $1 million homes and the mobile homes, and I just focus on just the central, Greater Phoenix
Yeah.
area.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot. That's a lot of movement.
It's what, 5,200 a month?
Selling and then also coming on the market. Yeah.
Yeah.
Days on the market, you're around 40.
And that's holding pretty steady too.
Yeah. And I will say I might change the way I do this number because the cumulative. Did I say that right?
Cumulative.
There we go. Days on market are closer to about 57 days because you are people who put it as a coming soon.
Mm-hmm.
So it's it might
Yeah.
be on there for a little bit
They get
longer.
to preview it.
Exactly. So, but that's where we're at. And my one little note is that the activity, because those are our average numbers, but I mean like 1 week I think we were under 1,000. Last week we were at almost 1,600 homes.
Yeah.
It fluctuates, and I'm following the interest rate, and it really fluctuates with the interest rates. So if the interest rate goes up, you're going to see a less number of houses going under contract
Yeah.
and stuff. Just 'cause-
Which makes sense.
yeah. So
If anyone's tracking it, they're getting a little nervous.
exactly, or people who are ready to buy, they might be if they don't fall in love with something,
Yeah.
they might be waiting to pull the trigger on
Yeah.
something. Which, I mean, I try to tell my clients, marry the house,
Yeah.
date the interest rate. You can always refinance
Mhm.
or even recast. So,
Cool. What do the action steps look like from May?
action steps for May were 4 reels. only got half of those. Yeah.
How's the performance on the reels? Are you noticing anything with the reels that you're doing that seems to indicate you like the direction that it's going, or is it more just
zero.
Okay.
But I also don't think I haven't given enough time.
Okay.
Or stuck to what I was doing, because the reels are more for just like, hey, don't forget I saw a house.
Yep.
You know, not to generate leads kind of things, because I'm not pushing them as advertisements or anything like that. So
cool.
So yeah.
All right, and then action steps for June. What do we got?
Well, I left them blank because we had the conversation beforehand.
So 24 phone calls for the month of June.
No.
30 minutes a day.
Correct.
Time blocked.
We're doing
cold
30
call.
minutes a day, 6 days a week.
Yep.
Of, the never spoke to people that are inside my database, or even random leads that will come out throughout the week and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
cool.
Although there are 2 bullet points, so I still want to do at least two reels on Instagram.
Yeah.
See how that goes, balance it, and then set the bar. What did you say earlier? Set here.
It's a sacred
graduate.
time.
You said graduate.
Yep.
So graduate from that bar to the next step, kind of thing. Boom, I'm done.
Nice.
All right, Alex, what's going on?
So honestly, May was a really dry month for me. It was really there really wasn't much. I got paid for stuff that I did the previous month, so I got $2,400 there. But even that work completely dried up for May. So I'm not particularly excited about next month. That's probably, if things are going as they are right now, it's a goose egg. But I have really changed a lot of my strategy in terms of, as I've been saying, I've been posting consistently on LinkedIn for a while. Was going to see if I could build much of a inbound network there, but it doesn't seem like a lot of people are actively reading posts and stuff for the type of client I'm trying to build. But so I'm still building that for authority and building credibility there, and I think it's helped that way, and it's helped me meet other consultants and people in the industry. But I started doing outbound leads. So I got a free trial of Sales Navigator. It came through, so I'm just adding a ton of connection requests. So last month, and I started doing this near the end of May. It wasn't necessarily something that I had as an action step, but kind of added. So I added 200 connections, 100 a day, with a new method that I was trying out, where kind of ticking, where I just had 100 purple rubber bands, and I have a cup. So every time I send a connection request, I move one rubber band to the cup until I'm done.
Nice.
And it actually makes it really satisfying, because as you're going through, and then of those people, worked with Thaddeus to work on a pitch, and then I'm slowly refining that pitch. So when they accept my connection request, I reach out saying, hey, here's my offer, here's my lead magnet, and I'm still refining that as I go through, trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work.
How are you looking for specific type of people for connections?
Yeah, so the 2 biggest people that I've been reaching out to have been actually real estate. So usually commercial real estate, looking at the VP, director, CFO, or COO. So usually operations, finance, or accounting. And those are the type of leaders that I'm traditionally reaching out to, which honestly has been good, because of those 200, I think I've had, and this is still fairly recent. So this was last week and week before. I think I've had 50 of those connections actually add me.
Oh, nice.
So that has been good. Got chewed out by one guy because I worded something wrong. It was the first time I wrote my pitch. He immediately responded, and what I was trying to say was I specialize in helping companies who haven't done this before, and I was trying to make it personal. So it was I specialize in helping. I think he was a manufacturing company. I was specialize in helping manufacturing. And he's I looked at your LinkedIn and you have 0 manufacturing experience. I was crap, and I just responded. I was yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. That's not what I was trying to say, but he just kept chewing me out. He's next time, don't dare say you specialize in helping this industry if you don't have any experience. I was okay. I took it to heart. I took it to lesson. It wasn't worth.
What state does he live in?
I'm not telling you anything.
Now, So obviously, with Dad talks about his business, fixes up houses.
Yeah.
My business, buy and sell houses.
Sure.
Yours, people still, even me personally,
Yeah.
still weary. So like when you're reaching out to the specific like commercial real estate and those VPs, like if there's a short or small way to say, like what is an example of something you've offered them?
Yeah. So I try
In
to.
case somebody's listening.
I try to boil it down. Like, so I'm trying to refine it as much
Do you
as
have your
possible.
pitch?
I do. Do you guys want me to read the exact pitch?
I mean, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, I'm just curious on to see like what you can offer those companies.
Yeah.
And if you say on here, might find somebody that'd be like, oh, I could use that in mine.
All right. So this is my exact pitch as I'm doing right now. So I'll say like, hey, whatever person, glad to connect with you. Working at whatever company, you likely deal with tons of data. And then I try to personalize it to their industry. So for this person, I was like payment tracking, employee performance, financial reporting, vendor relationships, and much more. And then I followed up with saying, my team and I specialize in helping you take control of your data and reporting. We do this by learning your business personally and creating systems completely tailored to you. To show you what we can do, I'm offering a free data audit for first-time clients. It's a small report with findings and recommendations for a process you choose. You can implement them yourself or hire us or anyone else to help. Worst case, your process is perfect and I give you a clean bill of health. What do you think? Worth discussing? Looking forward to your response. Say best, Alex, and then P.S. With 8 years of doing this, I've got a few ideas you might find valuable. So that's my entire cold DM pitch. So.
And how many people have you sent it to?
I think I've sent it to 35 right now. I have a few connections that I've accepted over the weekend, over past few days that I still need to reach out to. And then I still need to build out a consistent way a consistent way to reach out to people who haven't responded at all. So I still want to follow up. I want to try, my goal is for most people try to send at least 2 or 3 touch points. So even give it a week and then say, hey, it seems like you're not interested in this. Is that the case? Or, just try to keep top of mind like you do a lot in real estate. But honestly, I'm figuring it out. There's a lot that I don't know. I'm paying a very high ignorance tax right now.
Yeah. Have you ever made a video of like an example of video? Essentially maybe creating a fake business that you might actually labeling a real business as a fake business and be like, hey, this is what I do. I take your numbers, I do this.
Yeah, so I have demo dashboards that use fake data, so Microsoft data to kind of show what those kind of look like.
Yeah.
And then I actually have a few videos that I created of how to kind of create this kind of report. So one that I thought would be useful is a profit and loss report, because almost every business can use a profit and loss report. So it's showing how to build your own profit and loss report and make it dynamic, so you can always add stuff to it, and the Power BI just refreshes every time.
Yeah, but it's keep track. You said keep track of your vendors. Have you ever made a video on hey, here's a business. They have this many connections. This is how I grab here.
Yeah.
And and then essentially almost this is just input your company name and this is what I can create for you.
Yeah, I haven't done one specifically for those kind of cases. I have seen some stuff that. One guy, he does websites and he cold calls people and says, I've already made you a new website. You want to see it? And he does just a splash page and he's like, hey, this is a sample of what your website could look like, which is a great lead magnet.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of going for, because if I get those things, if I actually read it, it sparks it, that kind of sounds like something I might need.
Right.
Then it's maybe if you had a link to a YouTube, I watch a lot of YouTube. I don't know if everybody else does. Be like, hey, this is how I did this in this bit, this is how I did this real estate agent. Yeah. Because it's my business, my thing. It's oh shit, I'll click and I'll watch a 5-minute video to see what you did and then how it helped their business kind of thing.
It's honestly not a bad idea.
No. The problem is a lot of, you don't always know how every company, just because you're in commercial real estate doesn't always mean that you're using all of that data the same way. Even real estate agents, right? You're not residential. You're not always using it the same way.
But I don't think it doesn't have to be too specific too.
Yeah.
Before we go, I think it just be oh shit, he can take all the vendors. Oh, but I want this, and this with the vendors, and then maybe that's how my mind works.
Yeah.
It's oh, he can do that. Oh wait, shit, I would want to be able to track this.
No, that's a really good idea. Yeah.
Yeah. Because YouTube links get me all the time.
Yeah.
Seriously, if I have any little interest in it, it's oh yeah, you can generate your own leads. Wait, what's this motherfucker talking about? I click on it. Yeah, if it's too long, I just say screw it.
Yeah. So it'd have to be short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that's good. I think that's anybody who's looking for something.
Which I wonder, to your point, though, even like you're talking about doing an audit for them. So I don't know how much time this would take, but even to try and create a solid video of an example of what a data audit would look like. Because at the end of the day, too, you're asking someone to show you a pretty personal side of their business.
Yeah.
So to be able to say, hey, here's what we're looking at. And to Mason's point, you got to essentially get a ton of value in a short amount of time. But if it's even PS, here's an example of what this would look like. So if someone clicks into it as well, like what you could either do one of two things with that, even just to, sorry, this is a side tangent on top of it. You could make that a private video. So that you could track to see how many people off of the LinkedIn thing click on it based on how many views there are.
Well,
So-
even if it's a public video, you can still see the referral links.
Okay.
In
true.
YouTube
Good point.
Analytics. Because then, even if you have it as a public video, it's like, hey, what's the control analytics data audit process or something like that? Or like
exactly.
data audit.
Yeah, take that business, and then because you want a higher somebody making multi-millions, just kind of take like, oh, he's got
Multiply all my numbers by 100.
exactly. It's literally like, just get a sample one, multiply the numbers, and then do a fake audit.
Well, yeah, we're even saying like, hey, we've scrubbed all the personal data. Here's what an audit looks like for one of our clients.
Exactly, because even if it's without you having to do 30 videos for each industry, if you just get a generalized one that works.
A lot. Yeah, that's really smart.
Yeah.
Wow, talking to you guys is really useful sometimes.
What did you say? How it takes how many watts to screw a light bulb?
Oh, dear gosh.
No, I'm good.
Oh no, Thaddeus said that.
Moving on. All right. Before we get into what happened last month.
All right, Thaddeus, how'd you do this month? Nobody ever intros you. I was trying to help you out, man.
Appreciate it, but I was actually.
Unless you were going there, and I just fucked up the whole thing.
Are you done
you
talking?
did.
Because Mason's got something to say.
All right. The real quick specific info from the industry: 2x4s are sitting at 363. So we saw that jump up last month, and that one's holding steady. Plywood is up as well, 2450. And then the one that really stood out to me was the copper piping jumped up. We're at 3253. So just our building materials are creeping up there a little bit. Just something we're paying attention to. The 2x4s, I'm more going to pay attention if that jumps into the $4 range and beyond. That's going to be kind of the signal for me that, hey, there's something going on. Plywood, 2450, that's the upper limit of what we've seen with it. The copper piping, that one's just been ticking up and up. So that one, we'll see where that one goes. But in regards to the numbers from last month, let's see. I don't even have it up. Gosh. Looks like I'm prepared. I know I'll just get this out of the way. My action steps, they were not good I didn't get any of them done. But I'm going to go through what happened last month and try and plead my case that, hey, I'll fix it next month. For the month of May, Saito took in, I think this number is wrong. I think it's low. It's 27,765. I think it's supposed to be 28,765 or a little bit more because there was a customer that paid me in cash and I just paid one of my vendors straight with that cash. But anyways, that's the most amount of money that we've taken in a single month. It's also the month that we've paid out the most money in a single month because we're paying a lot of our subcontractors, stuff like that. We have a deposit for a new kitchen. So super happy with where that's going. Also brings me to, we'll save that for the end. So like I said, we signed a new kitchen. We got a deposit going for that. We're getting things going in that direction. Super excited about it. We've got another kitchen in the works that we're just trying to put the bow on top of it, and we should be good for that. One of the things that I was super proud of is I had mentioned in the months previously, I'd been calling through the list of the realtors, and one of them actually reached out to me and said, hey, I've got a client that is looking to do a bathroom remodel. That's the one I talked to you guys about with the post-tension slab. So went out there, met with them, great family, super nice. They were looking to sell their house, so they're trying to figure out a way to put more value into their home. One of the things I was super happy about, though, is that we can see at this point, it's like, all right, I've called 180 realtors, and we had one person reach out. So that's one lead. So at this point, that's where we're at. The other thing that I've been thinking about in May was I've reached out to everyone one time, but I don't think that's been enough to really kind of get inside of their headspace to say, hey, I have a guy. Obviously, it worked for one person. But I'm going to kind of, the action steps for next month, I want to finish my realtor list because I still have 120 names on there. The other thing that I want to couple with that, though, is the people that say I can send them stuff. I want to try and either put together like a monthly newsletter or a quarterly newsletter, just so that I'm having a continual touch point. So when they do have someone that is looking to remodel, I'll be in their email inbox. So
Yeah. I think that's a great road to go down too, especially if you keep the newsletter. And even as work gets busier, you still make even a small number of calls to new. Because I mean, all it takes is for one person. Like that, if you help out, like if somebody helps out my client and like does this something, and then I go back and sell it significantly faster because of all this stuff. If I have another client, you're the first person I'm calling.
Yeah.
You know, so it just takes like one or two, and then that might skyrocket a lot of it.
Yeah, the thing that we're doing as well, and we're talking to the real estate agents, is we have a referral program that we're doing. If it's a job between $10,000 and $50,000, we're doing a $500 referral off of it. And once it breaks that $50,000 mark, we're doing a 1% referral off of it. So if it's $1 million project, it's going to be more expensive, and
never
just
told me
everywhere
about
between.
this referral program.
I don't think I talked about this last month, did I?
Nope.
Okay, yeah. So this is something like I had been working on, but hadn't really talked about it openly just yet. But that's something that we're doing in terms of trying to set that up. The reason why I mentioned that, and that's important, is because that's actually started to come up in different areas. So, like I've said, this month has felt long but quick at the same time. I've talked to a couple companies now about, hey, we have this referral program, and a couple of people have been interested. So I've had the opportunity where one of the customers that I have currently, he essentially gave us a glowing recommendation. We're redoing their kitchen, but he needed someone to come look at their bathroom upstairs because it had a leak. So it was a handyman guy that he'd known for a long time. I was there working on my computer while some other work was being done by some of the subcontractors. And before the handyman guy left, he's like, hey, have you met Thaddeus? And then he starts just giving a glowing review of me, the guy Bobby that I've been working with, and all the subcontractors we bought in. I'm not having to say anything, and he's just selling for me in that situation. He's like, I actually have his card right here, pulls a card out of a drawer, puts it in his hand. Like, this was for me one of those things that I have been, like, we've talked privately, and then I've been talking with the guy Bobby that I've been working with. The two things I care the most about right now are quality of the project and customer experience along the way. So we have something, this is kind of behind the curtain stuff, we call a CEO night, where we get together outside of the podcast once a month and we start talking about the internal processes inside the company. And the big thing for me has been, how do I create that customer experience to be so good that in an uncomfortable process, it's as smooth as can be. So some of what we've even talked about outside of what you guys see here in our private conversations, we've implemented, and just from that interaction, it's like, oh my gosh, like, it's working. Talking to that guy that was there fixing the plumbing leak or whatever, he does handyman and plumbing work in Scottsdale, and he told me he has a very nice truck as well. So it kind of gave me an idea. He's not one of those beater white truck guys that's rolling around town. He's like, I work exclusively in Scottsdale. He has strict parameters on where he'll work, where he'll go, not go, stuff like that. And he said, I've got parameters on the size of jobs that I have. And so I told him about our referral program. He's like, that would have been fantastic to know 2 months ago because I had 3 people hitting me up. So it's one of those things that hasn't paid off because it happened a week ago, but it was just one of those things where I felt validated on what we're doing, and then also started to realize, I think this is an area to press into. Like, we've been offering it to the realtors, but also start offering it to more people. There are 2 other companies that I've said, hey, we'd be happy to do this with. So I'm starting to, I want to get through the Realtor list with all those calls because I created it. I said I was going to do it, so I want to finish it. I want to do the newsletter on top of that, but then I really want to start pursuing almost those relationships to see where can I get referrals from people in the industry, because it seems like there's activity there and it would work out. And the nice part is it's a relationship in some cases that I've already built. So that's what I was super excited about with the month of May, super excited about going into June. Now, the cherry on top for all of that. On Wednesday of last week, I put in my notice to leave the company that I'm with, and I'm going to be going full-time for Sledgehammers in the office.
Yeah, fuck that other company.
I'm not saying that at all. I honestly wish them the best.
And send me your referrals.
Yeah, I wish them all the best. They have a direction that they're looking to go with the company, so I hope they have good success in that area. I'm very excited about where we're going with Saito, excited about the work that we've been putting in, and just even excited about seeing the stuff that we've talked about behind the scenes paying off. So, and it seems that God has been blessing that work, and we've been really seeing that recently, and that's what kind of brought the wife and I to the point. It was last Tuesday that it was like, hey, it's time. So
yeah, he's blessing you, but he's also gonna be like, how much do you really want it?
Yeah.
At the same time.
Yep.
Yep.
So we're excited. I know it's going to be a dogfight, but we're ready for it. So super excited. It's been like even just watching the road to 100, as far as the numbers seem to keep creeping up. So we're just going to ride this train till we see it stop, essentially. Yeah, but I think that's it for the month of May. For June, I should be finished up with the company I'm with here in a little bit. So we are going to be rolling into a new project. We'll be pretty hands-on with that, but I'm hoping that with a little bit more time freed up, I'll be able to get that list wrapped up and some of the newsletter and other things that I want to focus on rolling. So the calls is the big thing that I'm going to focus on for the month of June. Cool.
Cool.
Well done.
All right. Anything else?
No.
Nope.
All right. We're going to try a new segment. So
Presented by Mamitas?
No, presented by Shamrock Farm.
Oh yeah, my bad.
Yeah. All right. We're going to move the camera. We'll get things situated real quick. This is a segment. You guys tell me if the audio starts going bad.
You could always just like say this and then cut it.
I don't want it. That's more editing. So we'll see. I'm going to close this right here. I need to move the camera for the whiteboard because I'm going to do a show and tell. Yay!
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Can
Okay,
you scroll
Hermosi.
if I need you
Yeah.
to? All right.
You've been watching too much Hermosi.
Yes, I have.
It's like the less buff, less talented Hermosi.
Hermosi if he did CrossFit.
Yep. Whatever. The funny thing is, he talked about practicing his presentation like a billion times.
You haven't done it once.
Oh no, I did. I think this is gonna be. I've done it multiple times at this point. I rewrote that entire thing. We're wasting a lot of time. Anyways, this is a segment I'm calling Company Thoughts, because one of the things that we talked about on the podcast previously was when Mason and I were doing it, we were coming from this place of here's how you should run a business without having a successful business. Then we were told and agreed that that's not the way to do things. With this is more here's what I am doing. Here's the thoughts that are guiding what I am doing and what we're going to be doing inside of the company. So the whole frame I want to put on this is, like I mentioned a second ago, quality and customer experience is two of the biggest guiding things that are leading us in this. But with that, today I want to talk about what I call the 0 to 10 framework as a way to create clear expectations with the employees and set the foundation for employee hiring and training. So you guys tell me if I'm speaking way too loud.
No.
We have this spectrum of the 0 to 10. The big lines that I want to look at are going to be 0 to 3, and then we've got, let me erase this. 3 on this side, 4 on this side, there we go. And then we've got 6, and then 7 to 9. So, with these, on the 0 to 3, what we're looking at is, let me start with, this is the spectrum on how I would understand someone specifically in the industry, and we're going to say for Cyto, how do we progress someone or understand their skills in terms of the trade. So with a 0 to 3, the big thing we're going to be looking at is, do they understand just the basic cleanup around a job site, cleaning, how to use tools? So for someone who's a 0, this is going to be someone who doesn't know how to read a tape measure, doesn't know how to clean up a job site, any of those things. So the big thing that we're looking at in terms of, we want them to understand cleaning and then the names of the tools. And the reason why is that I can bring on someone who doesn't know anything, but if I tell them, hey, go get the skill saw, and they come back with 2 different things, they've got 3 questions, then I have a problem and they're not useful at that point because I'm wasting a lot more time and then just going and getting it myself. So once we get to the point where they can do the basic jobs of, hey, I need you to do the lowest skills in terms of cleaning, whether it's the tools, whatever, it's now we have someone who's performing something and they graduate to the next level. From here, we're looking at the hand tools. This is getting messy. And with the hand tools, it's also going to be how to do small tasks, a lot of the hands-on stuff with that. The number 2 is we're going to move into the power tools, how to use them, how to care for them, all that stuff. And then we're going to get into the larger tools right here. So the difference that we're going to see between the 0 to 3 and the 4 to 6 is, using the wrong side of my marker, is now you understand the name, now you understand the function, 4 to 6, now we're going to start giving them jobs to do. So 4s, it's going to be just understanding and performing a task for the most part. It can be, hey, I need you to frame this. And so they understand the terminology inside the framing. I don't need to walk them through. You're going to put this board here, all these, each step along the way. It's, I can give them, go do this task, and they go from there. Someone who I would recognize more as a number 5 is someone who has multiple tasks. And usually this is going to be several days of work. Whereas when we get to a number 6, this is going to be either multiple days or several weeks. There we go. Weeks worth that they can go through. So the big emphasis on this stage is going to be performing the job well at each level and learning how to do it more efficiently. It's, can they think through what they're doing step by step? What are the upcoming steps? One of the big mantras that I have is quality, then speed. It's, we need to learn how to do the job with quality, add the efficiency. So if, as I'm doing this, I set myself up down the road, great. And then the last thing we're going to do is add the speed. So now have more intention behind it. As we move into the 7 through 9, I'm not going to write this one out as much. This is because this is where we're going to get more into the leadership of jobs. This is where it becomes more important that the leader is increasing the productivity of the sum of the people that are there. If you have 3 people on the job site, if you have trade partners there, how do you make sure that everyone is optimized for their performance? There's a function of this that is going to have to do with managing the personalities, managing just the people that are there. And then as a 7, it's usually a 7 and an 8, and I'll get to a 9 in a second. 7 and 8 is going to have people from the 0 to the 6 working with them. Usually it's going to be more the 0 to the 5 that's working with them. So how do you maximize what they're doing? Because you need to understand, how do I explain to a 0 his function for the day? How do I explain to a 3 what his function for the day is, and then build out from there? Because these guys, it gets a lot easier. You can start to just tell them, hey, go do this. They handle it. It's more autonomous. Whereas these people, you need to start walking them through more very specifically. So that's the 7 and 8. The difference here is going to be usually the scale of the projects. So like right now we're doing a lot of kitchens. I would put that more on the 7. If you're doing larger whole home remodels or ground up remodels, that's going to be an 8. The difference with a 9 is going to be they're in charge of the 7 and the 8 that are inside the company. So that means there's multiple jobs going on. They're trying to streamline the processes for those people. One of the things with this is a quick side note that as we go through the whole spectrum of this, going from a 0 to a 1 takes the shortest amount of time. 1 to a 2 takes a little bit longer, 2 to 3, like all the way down is each step along the way gets longer and longer and longer to get to that next step and make that graduation essentially. So the goal is that we want to see these people move through these as quickly as possible, but with the understanding that, hey, you're not just going to go from a 0 to a 6 overnight. You can go from a 0 to a 1, 0 to a 3 in a couple months, and it's pretty quick. Before we move into why I care about this and why this has been something that I've talked about a lot, even with the guys that I'm working with, and just as I process things inside of a company, I do want to mention, we call it the 0 to 10 scale. And the reason why is that 10s are going to be someone who owns the business. Now, you can have someone who's a 4 who understands how to do a task and starts an LLC, gets an EIN number, and now they have a company. The 10, their depth is going to be graded off of their depth of knowledge on that 0 to 9 scale. Because if you have a 4 who goes and starts a business, they're not going to be able to lead 7s inside of their company. The farther along in that progression you are and the continual growth that person has is going to dictate where they're going. So that side note, whatever, we're moving on. The reason why I find this pretty important is because it starts to create objective measuring that we can go off of and we can use for the employees in regards to their performance, their progression, and the expectations we have. So this makes it easy in terms of the compensation package because it's like, hey, this type of a guy, it's like we could talk even like a minimum wage job or a starter pay, like, hey, this is a $15 an hour job. You need to be able to clean up, you're a grunt around the job site, things like that. But the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we can start putting numbers to all of these in terms of compensation. So when you have someone come up to you inside the company and say, hey, I want to get paid X amount of dollars. Well, it's like, you're a 4 who's trying to get paid like a 7. You need to make this jump in terms of your production, your productivity, and the skills that you have. So it makes those processes a lot easier. It's no longer a vague comparison between the people that are inside the company. It's like, well, I think I'm as good as Johnny, and Johnny thinks whatever. It's like, it doesn't matter because we can start to identify where you're at. The second part about this, and this is where I get the most excited, and this is the big reason why I find this to be super important, is going to be in terms of training and creating a training plan. Right now, we've set up checkpoints. We've defined what all these things mean, which if we can then create a training program, which I don't want to get into too much right now, but the general premise is if I can take someone from a 0 and make them a 3 very quickly in an organized way that's systematic, now I can do that with multiple people. If I can take someone from a 4 to a 6 or a 4 to a 7, whatever it is, that's the whole idea of what we're doing. When we get into this, at this point, we can start hiring. We can remove ourselves from the hiring competition because the common expression people are putting in is it's so hard to find good help these days. But what they're assuming in that is 2 things when they say good. They want someone who has integrity and they want someone who's skilled. So in this framework, what we're starting to remove is the skilled aspect of it, because we defined what it is. We're going to get into what the training program looks like. We'll get into that down the road. But if we can systematize that, the big thing that we have to really hire for is going to be the integrity. So our whole goal is that we're going to remove ourselves from that competition because we can develop employees faster than anyone else. We can start to hire for integrity over skill because we know that we can teach that skill, which gives us a larger pool to pull from because there's a very limited supply of people who are skilled in their trade and have integrity. Like I said, all of this is very important to me because it helps create clear expectations between employer and employees going forward in terms of, hey, here's the progression I want you to go through. Here's what the pay scale starts to look like when we move through this progression. And then it's also like when we layer that training program on top of it, it makes it where we're not competing and we can hire the quality people that we want rather than who's available and getting into a rough competition that we might not be in the spot to participate in. So at the end of the day, if I hire people who are high integrity and I can teach them the skill, that means that I have controlled for a high quality product and a fantastic customer experience. And that's what we are building this entire company off of. So for me, the reason why I spent the time to go over the 0 to 10 is because this has shaped a lot of the thoughts that I have currently and that we have going forward in terms of the business right now. So I do want to ask the boys in terms of if they have any questions or points of clarification that they'd like in regards to the 0 to 10 framework.
I don't have any questions.
You did such a fabulous job.
Yeah. Well, I'll ask this. So, would you say that this scale is much less about necessarily how good you are at these things, but more about like knowledge competency, right?
No.
No?
I do put those two things together.
Okay.
Because in terms of, it's like
1 through 3 is knowledge, yeah.
like, a lot of it is knowledge.
Okay.
But it's like for a lot of the trades, it is application of knowledge. And to kind of tip my hand in terms of the training thing, it's I want to be able to teach people. If this is the dumbest one to me, but I feel like it makes it so clear. It's like when you have a bucket that you've been working with and there's stuff at the bottom of it, if you go just dump out all the water in there, there's a layer of crap at the bottom of it. So when you teach someone to clean out a bucket, there's a specific way to do it. So I want to be going through, and for that part of the training, it's going to be, here's how you clean a bucket, because it's going to be the most efficient way. So it starts with the quality, then we move to speed. So, and that's where we emphasize it for the 4 through 6 in terms of, hey, you can get the job done, you did it well, but you're not going to keep moving up the ladder if you're slow at what you do. So I need to start with quality because the company dies without that. But the speed does become important. So right here, this is the knowledge. I need to know that you understand. If I give you a tool, you understand how to use it, manipulate it. The application becomes the most important in 4 through 6. The 7 and 8, directing, especially the 0 through 3 in what they're doing with those tools as they learn those skills becomes highly important. That's why we lean more on that leadership skill here to say, hey, how do you make this person productive with their day? Because you're going to have to micromanage that.
Yeah.
You'll probably go over this in the training module, the training part of it, when you talk about it. But like, how do you take, like, say you hire somebody, you hire them that's a 4, 5, or 6.
Yes.
Now, are you going to have some type of training process that, yeah, they can do multiple tasks and stuff, but do it your way?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. And so that's the other thing with this, and I think I skipped, was we're creating standard operating procedures inside of all of this, because it's then, we want it to be that anyone can walk in and pick up or understand where we're going. Because if we have a guy who's a lead on the job site and he has a couple guys that are working with him, he can say, hey, I want you to go do, like, I need you to, this is a stupid one again, I need you to go fill up a bucket. And I've had it multiple times where someone comes in and they filled up a bucket, like, just barely the bottom fifth. And I'm like, whenever I say fill up a bucket, I want 2/3 to 3/4. So it's now standard that it's like, hey, I need a bucket filled up, I need this task done, I need this task done. It's just standard across the board.
Yeah. And say you have somebody that you really like, you love, you want to hire.
Yes.
They've been a 7 or 8 inside of another company.
Yep.
But company dies or something, and they want to come onto yours.
Yep.
Like, they necessarily won't be able to start off as a 7 or 8 inside your business right away, because they can't.
They have to learn how.
They have to learn how.
They have to learn the
done
Saito
first.
way.
Right. So I'd say yes and no. It depends on the degree, because there is a certain amount of trade or job-specific knowledge that if you have, like, there's the guy that I've been working with for a while that we're in the same position at the company I'm leaving. He was from Washington, and once he came down here, we were of the similar skill set where as we got to know each other, it's like we know the same things, we have the same procedures, so a lot of it is standard. So yes, there are certain nuances in terms of the Saito way that we would be putting on things where it's like, hey, we got to catch you up to speed on the exact way that we're doing this so that you're not confusing the guys that you're in charge of. But for the most part, I don't look at that as too much being a problem. If that is a problem, I start looking at that as saying, hey, we need to really relook at what you're doing in this position.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. All right. Sound good?
Good stuff.
So, turn this camera back around. There we are.
What?
This is something, like I said, that it's just going to be thoughts I have in terms of the company, how I want to grow it, how I'm trying to shape it, stuff like that. And then if you guys have stuff along the way, we'll have you jump up and lay some of your stuff out. So,
All right, gentlemen, let's wrap it up for the evening. Let us know where people can find you and anything else you want to plug. Me, find me on Instagram at Mason Oxendale. Alex?
You can find me on LinkedIn, just Reich,
Mm-hmm. And Thaddeus?
or Control Analytics.
or Control Analytics on YouTube.
Mhm.
Thank you.
And your website.
And my website, Control-Analytics.
Do you want me to just do all of them?
Yeah, thank you. Please hold my hand.
On Instagram at Cyto_building or the website cyto-building.com.
So until next time,
I hope your hammer stays accurate.
Wi-Fi fast.
and your work blessed.
See you, everybody.